finally we're back. Man, you don't even know how many technical freaking difficulties I had trying to record this. It's cool. It's the third time. And as I always say, the third time, the third time is the best time or the luckiest time? Anyways, we're here for the infamous WAITAROUND breakdown. It's a track that I dropped, I think, sometime last year. Gonna go through every single one of these tracks. I'll show you guys the source, show you guys some of the mixing stuff that I did. To be fair though, on this mixing track, I sent it off to the label that I was with at the time, and they were like, how about we get this done with a professional? And I was like, what are you chatting about? I'm a professional. I ended up going with a professional. He schooled me on some mixing techniques, dropped all loads of source, and that's in a different session. In fact, that's the reason why I decided to switch to Logic. If you guys want to see that, of course you can. But let's jump in some of the production stuff that we did to make this track. So I'll start off with playing a little bit.
Show me how, baby, if you wanna fuck around. Hold on while we waiting, yeah. While we waiting, yeah. Want to say this right, yeah. Wanna say this right now, yeah. Now we're celebrating. Say now we're celebrating, yeah. About you, about the way you changed my life, about the way you changed my life, yeah.
Okay, sweet. Let's do it. Start with the drums. And start with the kick of the drum. Any old sample, just a sample with like a lot of beta to it, a lot of top end. I'll just solo this part. Yeah, so hence why I've got a little EQ to bring out some of that top end as well. Some saturation and some clipping as well to shave off the peaks of that kick drum. I think at the time I was a big proponent of the Bathymetrics clip to zero technique. So if you haven't heard of that, definitely check that out. That can be a real game changer. I don't use all of the techniques quite the same way anymore, but for this particular track, when I was mixing it, I was really a believer in that sort of philosophy. So yeah, we're clipping off the ends of these ends of the transients on this by, gosh, yeah, pushing it into the clipper by 10 dB. That's quite a lot. Let's take a quick look at this rim as well. So what we've got here, a bit of smack attack to reduce some of those transients, because it's a very sharp, the rim is like a really sharp sound, even in comparison to say like a snare hit. Slightly different type of saturation. High pass. Clipping. So your regular stuff. And you can see this, all this is like pretty quantized, for the most part, pretty straight. And then this is just literally adding the tiniest amount of body in the choruses, only in the choruses, so it sounds like. And then these crashes, I think they only happen twice when you're coming into the chorus. Super quiet crash, because I feel like the crash on its own doesn't get used a lot in modern music nowadays, and it can have a slightly cheesy sound to it sometimes when you're using it in the wrong genre. So really quiet and doubled with a more dominant ride. Cool, then we come to the hi-hats. For this one, instead of playing it in with the drum pad, I opted to go for a loop on this one. Can't quite tell you why. Sometimes it just slots in nicer. But what I did do is obviously I chopped it up so I got my own sort of accents here and there. You know, and that's kind of the drums coming into a compressor, Faraday limiter, to give it some warmth and character as well. This is just a measurement plugin coming into the clipper. You could definitely tell, because I feel like the kick is definitely getting squashed a little bit there, maybe a bit too much. But that's one of the cool things that I like about coming back to these old mixes, you know, like I was debating about whether to show you guys, but then I thought definitely show you, because even though it's not quite what I would do nowadays, being able to see where I make some changes here and there actually is super helpful to be able to, first of all, recognize a development. I've grown, I've learned some new things, and this isn't quite how I do it. There's still lessons to be learned from this, you know, like in terms of, first of all, some things that really help to gain this specific sound. And then if there's at any points where I'm like, oh, this is something that I don't do anymore, here's the misconception that I had in my head on that, I can tell you guys so you don't have to make the same mistake. So yeah, there's some use in that. Let's jump to the bass. So for this one, you see it's all chopped up. I chopped up the gaps in between where there's noise. So if I solo that, super noisy, like just kind of playing. Just a lot of stuff going on in between that silence. And that's going to come up in your compressors and come up in your limiting and stuff. And first of all, muddy up the mix and make it sound busier than it needs to be. But then it can also play a role in eating up your headroom as well. So just get that sounding super clean. And then I was selective about the parts that I wanted to keep in as well. That sustained note has got some noise in it, but I wanted to keep that sustained. So let's keep going. CLA bass, just pretty regular stuff on here. Just keep, this cut is really cool for letting it, for like giving it some mids, especially since I played this with a plectrum. So it gave out some, like, gave a little bit of more of that source, you know, EQ some frequencies here and there. Just a touch on the bass and a touch on the high end. Saturation again and clipping. Again, I probably wouldn't clip the bass as much nowadays. It's not too bad actually, it's pretty transparent, and maybe because this has got its own a lot of transits that needs to deal with, it's not exactly a very monotonous bass. But oh yeah, I was gonna say one thing I can't see is compression, but I use the bass rider to kind of even those out. Let's keep it going. We'll listen to the low. Yeah, man, we're vibing. Coming on to the mid section, the keys. Yeah, it was something like a C, some type of C minor 11. C minor 11 to F minor 11 to D minor 9. Same again. To that sus chord that I love to play, you know. So if this particular chord was a G, let me land. That'd be like A flat minor 7 with a B flat in the bass, right? To get that sus, and yeah, that gives it that lift, that air, the chord progression that I don't know what the exact word is, but it's something like higher. Yeah. Chorus Rocky Road on the stage 73, really lovely road sound, and then a little bit of movement with the pumper on a quarter note. Whole bunch of stuff going on for the keys group, which is literally just this. I can't even tell you why I would have a group just for one channel instead of putting it on there. Just absolute silliness. So some saturation, this compression is also going to impart some of that lo-fi flavor, some warmth. EQ taking out some of the lows, taking out some of the mids as well, which is interesting. Not too sure why, but you see what you see. More compression. I'm not sure what I was thinking. That's probably not necessary, like... Oh, actually, to be fair, it is doing something. It's doing something probably more around this area than down here. Like, there's not much going on, but it is reducing that by a fair amount. And then, yeah, some more clipping, which isn't something I do nowadays a lot on melodic instrumentation. You can achieve a smaller dynamic range if that's what you want with other methods, because I feel like clipping doesn't handle melodic information quite as well as percussive information. But that's just my opinion. I'm just spitting. So we have this chill chorus here where we come out of, and it comes into this bit here. So it's the same chord progression, an octave up. The idea with this particular chain is to make it as small as possible. So we've EQ'd up the frequencies. This lossy, oh okay, I thought the filter was on, but yeah, it's adding a little bit of bit crushing, touch of verb as well. Mono, to just bring it totally tight in on the spectrum. This is where I was doing the filtering. Oh, except I thought that would have been lower. I think it would have been something like here. The Q3 and a compressor as well. And this one was literally just like air, this. Yeah, just like some background texture. So let's keep going. That's literally on a tonic chord That C minor, keyscape, phaser flanger, reverb. OTT is so good. It's used quite a lot in EDM, but I always use it because when there's something an instrument that I want to have poke out on the high end even more, it almost like sits on top of other high end stuff, which I just think is a really cool preset. You have to dial it right back, what a sick. And then vintage verb to put it in the back. That's the reason why it's on an insert channel. So when I drive up the dry wet, the wet is actually going to bring out the dry and make it feel like it's further away. Pan to the left. Juno riff. Combination of the Juno and the Mellotron. Let me show you guys the source. Brass 1. Not very exciting, is what it is. And Mellotron, I know which one this was. It's like Strawberry Fields or something. Strawberry Flutes. Strawberry Flutes. There you go. But exact same line. And notice it's panned right, but it's got also some auto pan on it to make it kind of go between the far right and the center. But what I will say is one of the things that helps with the bounce on this is the alternation between like the instruments playing at different times. So you've got this part at the start, and then the next time around it's this flute's turn. You know, so the interplay between them gives it like, you know, just a little bit of ting. Guitar. Super simple. It's kind of just like that offbeat reggae feel, offbeat guitar. Just something. I think I was listening to a lot of it at the time. I'm just like, let me just give it a try, man. It's first of all a utility because I came in way too hot. Like you can see, I zoomed in on this one. I was almost peaking. Like that right there is crazy. So yeah, very dangerous. Almost peaking. A little bit of warmth. Same thing again with the verb. High pass the verb and the guitar. Put it out wide. Very wide. Soothe. Just to take out any resonant frequencies, which I have a little bit of just from my guitar in the room. And yeah, some more clipping, which I'm not 100% sure if it needed. Cool. We'll jump over to this part here, Juno. It's literally going up and down. I think, oh no, it's going down the chord progression. So it starts off with that. Why did it just change sound? Yo, that's crazy. Yeah, nevertheless, it actually sounded like this. Pass effect again to keep it wide. Just going up and down that chord progression, up the F, down, and then up to this. This ACE is like within the context. That sus chord. Remember, I think. Let me have a look. No, maybe the ACE is the 5th 7 9 in the or 3rd 5th 7th. I can't remember in the D minor. 5th 7 9. Yeah, 5th 7 9. Kind of the last little piece of instrumentation is just this CS80, which is like, I don't know, kind of regal, Star Wars sounding. Pan left. So you can tell I was just putting random instruments anywhere I wanted. What I will say is that I started this song with the chord progression on this EP and then just kind of vibed with it from there. We've got the vocals in here as well. That's always fun. And I think the vocals is something that I would change, that I do the most differently now. So let's hear what we got.
I said, hold on while we waiting, yeah. While we waiting, yeah.
So I hear a lot of,
yeah, you wanna say this right now, yeah, yeah. Say this right now, yeah, yeah.
I can hear a lot of background noise in that, but it doesn't sound too bad, to be honest. Got a bit of auto-tune on the top. RVox, Q3, can't go wrong with those. DSR, just taking off some of the peaks. I don't use repeater anymore because, well, I don't have the slate bundle anymore, but you can use any delay you want. Abbey Roads.
Say this right now, yeah.
Sounds really good actually. I've got to go back to that plate. That's really nice. That's a nice sounding little thing.
I say now we're celebrating, yeah, about this.
And then cut some of those. That sounds nice.
Tell me what you want, I know you wanna stay. Girl, I like your style, I can see it on your face.
Vox.
Tell me what you want, I know you wanna
A little bit Q3. Small stuff really. It's not really the chain that I would use nowadays. If you guys would want to see that, that's all going to be in the school community, so you can check that out. The videos in the community are like a lot longer. You know, they just got all the stuff that I'm doing nowadays. That Jordan Ward track that we did a while ago, I'm mixing it live, not live, but as I'm mixing, I'm posting the videos up so that everyone can see it, whatever, and comment, feedback, this, that, and whatever. So if that's something you're interested in, what I'm doing nowadays to mix the tracks, just I'll leave the link in the bio. Actually, I'll leave the link in the description so you guys can check that one out. And then this is kind of the last bit, the secret sauce, I would say, to what gives the song a little bit of character. So we've got these falsetto parts. There would be auto-tuned a little bit more, but another thing that I've changed since this particular track is nowadays I'm really meticulous about the vocal tuning. So I'll use Melodyne to go in note by note and move it up, move it down. And even if it's not dead on where it's supposed to be, or listening to see if maybe it being off is more musical, which can definitely happen. Cool. And then the lower formant version of that, which is the exact same waveform with just a little bit of a altar boy on the bottom, formatted 8. There we go. And then in the chorus is all of those plus my chest voice. See this little click here, that little lip smack might have made it into the final track if I hadn't given it to my boy. Shout out Buzz Violet.
I said, hold on, while we waiting, yeah, while we waiting. Let me say it now.
Chest voice formatted again. Although I'll note on this one, the format is different. Look, 12 pitch and 12 format, so low as you can go really. Just to cover that full spectrum.
About the way you changed my life, we're celebrating.
And then I can hear some effects. Oh yeah, look at that. That's a hell of a chain. A little bit of compression. Pultec doing a little bit, not much. Taking out some of those. At 60, you guys know I love my chorus. This chorus here got both the mono and the wide version. Mega verb for it's not dialed in super mega. Delay, compressor, regular ting, and a dry channel. EQ up. F6 is off. Q3 is doing the tiniest amount. Yeah, it's not the craziest little ting, but altogether it's a little bit of a vibe, you know.
Show me how, baby, if you wanna fuck around. I said, hold on, while we waiting, yeah, while we waiting, yeah. Want to say this right, yeah, wanna say this right now, yeah. Now we're celebrating. I say, now we're celebrating, yeah, about you, about the way you changed my life, about the way you changed my life, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of mess with it. A lot of cool stuff in there. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. I feel like maybe I went a little bit fast on some things, or maybe I wasn't explaining quite what you were looking for. If that's the case, just let me know and we can do it again, or I can shoot you a message, or I can do something else. I don't mind. I'm gonna just keep doing it. Join the Discord if you want to. If you're interested, join the school community as well. Once we get to about 20-30 people, well, like I said, we're gonna cut it, give it a break for a little while, then probably look at maybe upping the price. So yeah, if there's something you're interested in, have a look and grab it now if you can. I won't take so long to come back with the next videos. We're gonna be dropping them banger after banger after a banger. You know what they say, new laptop, new me. So have a good one, guys, and peace out.